Okay, let me show you. Save that file, close it. Let me show you the power of Power Query. How easily you can transform the data. Let's take a look. Close all other files. Close all other files. Go to Power Query folder. Go to Power Query folder. The very first one is Power Query data. Yes. Open that. Open that. Yes. All right. Now you see the requirement here. Tell me, is it a table?
Yes, sir.
How do you know? Is this a table? Exactly, because there is a table design. Yes, it is a table. For Power Query, we need the data in the table formats only. I'd like to tell you one requirement, and you need to complete this. Okay. The requirement is this: you have different, city names from India. You want to get that output like this. Output should be like this. These are the different city names we have. You want to get all the city names into individual cells like this. There are almost I think 30 different cities. Yeah. How much time would you need to convert this list, which is there in a single cell, into the multiple cells like this? How much time? Maybe 10 to 15 minutes, huh? Because each and every city name you need to cut it and you need to paste it like this. Yes or no? But I'll show you the easiest way to work with Power Query. Why companies these days asking for Power Query, because if someone knows Power Query, all these data related transformations can be done in seconds without knowing the programming. Okay, without knowing the programming itself, you can complete all these things in seconds. So how do we do that? Very simple. And this only works from 2016 version of Excel. Good thing is that most of you have 2016, right? Or advanced versions of Excel. Okay, so do you know that is it a table? Correct. What is the table name? What is the table name? Table 2. Table 2 is the table name. I want to load this table into Power Query Editor. This is something new for most of you. Anyone knows Power Query, how to work with it? No? Something new? Okay, perfect. So let's do this. All of you just go to Data tab. Go to Data tab. Okay. There is something called from table or range. From table or range. Make sure you keep the cursor on the table. Make sure the table design is also enabled. Go to Data tab. Data tab. Save from table or range. Click that. Click that. You will see a new window, a Power Query window that gets opened here. You see that? Yes. The Power Query, Power Pivot concepts are not there for Mac. Yeah. Okay. Other than Mac, all other you got that Power Query window. Okay. Here we go. If you want to do the same data transformation manually, you all felt it would take about a 15 to 20 minutes to split each and every city name into individual rows, right? But take a look at this. Select that input data column. Just click there. Okay. Go to transform, all of you. Select that input data column. Go to transform. And there is something called split column using a delimiter. Yes, split column using a delimiter. Click on by delimiter. Tell me something. What is that one separating all these city names? Comma, right? Good thing is that it has already identified. Comma is the one is a delimiter there. In Excel, we can only split a single cell into multiple columns, but in Power Query, if you expand this advanced options, expand the advanced options, please. What is it showing? Do you want to split this into columns or do you want to split this into rows? Choose rows. Why? Because all that city names, you don't want to get them into columns. You want to get them into rows. See, if the same thing, if you want to do manually, will take a good 10-15 minutes. But if you simply say text by, split by column, split column by a delimiter, delimiter is a comma and the split should happen into rows. You click OK. You see that? All the city names, 30 city names, now they are into a single column, all of them. Right? How many of you see the preview like this? Please raise your hands. Excellent. Okay, do you see any space before these city names? Yes or no? The first one doesn't have a space, but rest of the things they have the spaces. Do you know how to get rid of them? Okay, please do this. All of you just do a right click on that column. Do a right click on the column and go to transform. Which function is sounding relevant here to get rid of that space? Trim. Excellent. Let's go with trim. Click on trim. You see that? You don't have any unnecessary spaces before the city names. Right? Is it done? Now you see, whatever the manual thing you felt like 10-15 minutes are needed, now it is done in seconds. And what you need to do is go back to home tab. All of you go back to home tab and click on this drop down. Do not directly click there. Click on this drop down. And what is that you want to do? Do you want to close and load to a new sheet or do you want to close and load to an existing sheet? I want to close and load to an existing sheet where here in O3 choose existing sheet and select O3. Okay, click OK. Now you see all those things that are there in 3 rows are now into 30 rows. How many of you got this output? Raise your hands. Okay, so tell me, if you want to do it manually, it will take some time, right? So what is the best way? Power Query. Understood? I'd like to show you one more interesting thing. If you add any new city name, just pay attention. After Ghaziabad, I want to add one more. Tell me one more city name. Pune is already there. Mathura. B-A-T-H. Mathura, okay. Mathura, okay. Fine then. If you add any new name here, you don't need to do much. On the right hand side, you have the queries and connections, right? So this is the advantage. If you go there, there is a refresh icon. If you just click on refresh, it will automatically come there. You see that? You just need to do a refresh. Refresh button is here. After adding it there, okay, if the queries and connections is there, great. Just in case if it is not there, in the data tab, you have the queries and connections and you have the refresh button there. Just click on refresh. It will read the data once again and it will change those values. Okay, if the refresh is not happening there, you can say here in the data tab, say refresh all. That value will definitely be there in the middle. If you have added in the middle, repeat it. Okay. So, I mean, all the steps are all the steps. Okay. Okay, the requirement is this: you have city names which are there in a single cell, and you want to split them into multiple cells like this. And if you want to do this, it will take so long time. To automate this process, first of all, we need to create a table. Good thing is that it's already a table. How do you know it's a table? Because table design is there. Table design is there. Then what we'll do is we'll go to the data tab, and there is something called, you want to get and transform the data from a table or a range. Just keep the cursor on the table, click on from table or range. Once we get this single column data, what we want to do is that go to the transform. There is something called split column. This split column, you want to do it by a delimiter. Okay. And the delimiter is comma. And how do you want to split it? Do you want to split it into columns or rows? You want to split this data into rows and click OK. You will get all the data into rows like this. Is it done? Rows you need to select because you don't want to split this data into columns. You want to split the data into rows. Once you are done, you see additional spaces before these names. To get rid of them, just do a right click, transform and trim. Okay, right click, transform and trim. Right click on the column, transform, and there you have an option trim, which removes that additional space before each and every city name. Right click, transform and trim. Is it done? Okay, on the column, on the screen please, right click. Do you see transform? Transform. Is it there? On the column, is it done? Okay, go to the home tab. Is it done? Is it okay? Go to the home and say close and load to. Go to home tab. There you have close and load to, right? And choose existing sheet, and then cell address you take it here. O3. Choose existing sheet. Cell address should be O3 and click OK. All those city names will come here like this, which are there in a single cell. With a comma separator, we were able to split that into multiple rows. See, this is one of those examples of Power Query. Okay, Power Query can do so many other things. Okay, so let's do the next level data transformation with the help of, let's close this file, all of you. Close this file. Okay, close this file. All of you open Superstores data. Superstores. There is one more file in the Power Query folder only. Open Superstores. Right. All of you just go to the customers sheet. Customer sheet. Customers. There is a sheet named customers. Okay. Tell me, is it a table formatted data or normal data? Table? Yeah, it's not a table. It's normal data. You know that why? Why? Because table design is not there, right? Do you know how to create a table? Yes? Right. Let us hit, what is the shortcut? Excellent. Let us hit Control T and create a table. Control T and create a table. Done? Okay. Go to the products. Is it a table? No? Okay. Hit Control T, create a table. Right? Okay. Go to transactions. Yes? Is it done? Is it a table? Right. Create a table. Control T and create a table. I would like to show you one interesting thing, and most of the companies these days, they are asking for the power pivot. There is a reason why companies are looking for power pivot. Do you know why? The regular pivot tables, they have certain limitations, and power pivots can work with multiple data sets. Let's try to understand how you can create a power pivot. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let me ask you this. I think you should be able to do it. I want to fetch, all of you be in the transaction sheet, please. Transaction sheet. Yeah. Go to L1 cell. L1. Yes, L1. I want to get the region here. I want to get what? Region. Region of who? Customer. Okay. So what is the customer ID? A11096 region. If you go back to A11096 here, and who is that? What is that customer's region? East. So you want to see that east here. Can anyone suggest any formula? Looking at the customer ID, I want to fetch the customer region name. Which formula? You understood the requirement? Using the customer ID, I want to fetch the customer region, because I'll tell you one thing. You see the business use case. What your business tells you is this. Your business tells you, I want to find out the region wise sales by region. Is there any way that you can directly use this table to get the sales by region? Directly, is it possible? Sales by region. Do we have a region column there? In the transactions table, okay, let me just do a Control Z. In the transactions table, do we have the region column? Then how can you create a region, total sales by region? Right, we can bring it, right? Okay, how to bring that? Use equal region. What is the formula that helps us to fetch the region name using the common ID? VLOOKUP, right? Let's write VLOOKUP. What is the lookup value? The common ID, which is customer ID, comma, where is your table array? Customers table, right? This is my table array, and I no need to freeze anything because it is table. And in which column the customer region is present? H. H is what? Column number. What is the column number of H? Column index number H region 8. Which type of match? Exact match. If I do that, then I'll get, looks like there are additional rows used. All of you just go to the transactions table. Once, let's fix this table first. All of you just go to the transactions table, scroll down up to which row it is taking, up to 346 or 358. 346 only. Okay, if it is going up to 358, select the rows, right click and delete them. We don't need them. And also these additional borders also there. Delete a good number of rows from the bottom. Do not keep them there. It should go up to only 346. Okay. Now you got the region. Okay. Now tell me, can I create a pivot table to get the region wise sales? Can I do that? How many of you know the pivot table here? Yes, please. How to get the region? Okay. Do you know how to write the VLOOKUP? Okay. So header is region. Just type region there. Yes. What is the formula? VLOOKUP. What is the common key to fetch the region? Customer ID. Okay. Customer ID. I'll tell you why. Customers have the regions. Customers have the regions. Right? So the common ID is customer ID. Right? VLOOKUP. What is the common ID? Customer ID. All of you choose customer ID. Equal to VLOOKUP. Choose the lookup value as customer ID. Yes? Okay. Comma. What is the next argument? Table array. Where is the table? All the customers. So select all the customers. Control shift right arrow. Control shift down arrow like this. All the customers. Go to the customers table. Select all the customers from column A to column H. Okay. Comma. Where is this region column? What is the column number of region? 8th column. Comma. Which type of match you want to do? Exact match, which is 0. If you do like that, you will get all the regions here. See, for this, you will have to practice VLOOKUP first. If you are good with VLOOKUP, then you can do all these 6. Is it okay? Right? Now tell me, can I present my analysis using, region and the total sales? Yes or no? Can I present total sales by region? Yes or no? Because the region is there. Similarly, I want to create a pivot table to show product category and the total sales. Okay, tell me, can I do a product category and total sales pivot table using this data? Product category and the total sales. Do we have the product category here? So that is product category is there in the products table. So I have the product ID here. So using the product ID, can I fetch the product category? What is that I need to do? Again the VLOOKUP. Understand, I need to do this VLOOKUP for multiple times. Okay. But I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Let me show you the power pivoting concept. Okay. All of you have created the region column. Yes. Do one thing, just do a right click and delete that column. We don't need that. Delete the column, please. Delete the column. We don't need that region column. Without the region column also, I can create a pivot that shows profit by region. Profit by region, I can still create it without having that region column there. All of you make sure your transactions table has only columns up to K. Yes. Okay, is that fine? Okay, here we go. This is what we want to do. Without creating any VLOOKUP formula, I want to fetch the data from other tables also. You need to do these things carefully, step by step. Let us take a look at this. How many of you see the power pivot here? In the ribbon, do you see power pivot? Yes or no? How many of you see it? Raise your hands. Very, very few. Okay, here we go. I'll show you how you can enable this power pivot. Let's do step by step. Okay, and this is available from 2010 version onwards, so all of you can try this. All of you can work with power pivot. Okay, how do we do this? Very simple. Just go to file, file, options, file, options, file, options, add-ins, file, options, add-ins. Okay, at the end of the screen you see manage and it shows Excel add-ins, but go to the com add-ins, go to the com add-ins and click go, change it to the com add-ins and click go, and you should see Microsoft Power Pivot for Excel, which is not checked in your system. Just check that. Just check that Microsoft Power Pivot for Excel. Just check that. Okay. Power Map is not needed. Just Power Pivot only. Okay. Click OK. Now you should see an additional tab there, which is Power Pivot. Ready? Okay. Here we go. All of you just go to the customers sheet. Customer sheet. Customer sheet. In the Power Pivot, there is something called add to data model. You see this option? Add to data model. Please do that. Once you click on add to data model, it will take you to a Power Pivot window, something similar to Power Query window we have seen right in our previous example. Similarly, Power Pivot window, right? Add to data model. If you click on this Excel icon, switch to workbook, you can do that. After clicking on add to model, data model, it will open up that Power Pivot window and you just click it on, switch to workbook. You can click it here or you can close this window also. Either of the ways you can go back to Excel. Right now you have come back to Excel. Just go to the products table. All of you just go to the products sheet. Right, for this also you say add to data model. Now you have two tables loaded into Power Pivot. But how do I know that two tables are there? Okay, very simple. You see the diagram view here? All of you just click on the diagram view. All of you just click on the diagram view here. Right? You have a data view and you have the diagram view. The first table is the customers table. The second table is the products table. Right? Close this. Close that. Go back to Excel. Go to the transactions table. Go to the transactions table and add this also to the model. Add to model. Okay. Go back to the diagram view like this. You should see three tables. Okay. How many of you see all three tables? Raise your hands. In the diagram view, how many of you see all three tables? Products, customers, transactions. Okay. The benefit of adding these things to the models is this. I can create the relationships here. I can create the relationships and quickly create a pivot table, and then I can quickly show one dashboard also. Okay, all of you got these three tables into the model, right? Okay, you need to tell me now what are the common IDs available. Okay, let's take a look at the customers table and let's take a look at the transactions table. For our understanding purpose, I'll do one thing. Table 2, I name it as customers. Table 4, I name it as transactions. and this table is products table. Just do a double click and change it as products. Okay, this is for our understanding purpose. I just renamed them. Here the customer ID is there. That means it's a customer table. Here I have the orders ID. That means it's a transaction table. Here I have the products ID, which is a products table. Now, do you know the common keys? You remember? Just do a double click on the table header and change the name. Just change these names to customers with the customer ID and all, transactions with the row ID, order ID, products with the product ID and category, and so on. Just 3 tables, rename them so that it will be easy for us to build the relationships. Earlier, when we wanted to get total sales by region, what we had to do? We had to do a VLOOKUP, fetch the region, and then only we were able to present the data total sales by region. But now it's not like that. The data can stay in their individual tables. But you need to create a model. You know, there may be questions on what is data modeling. Data modeling is nothing but creating the relationships between the tables. What is a common key between the customers and transactions? Can anyone identify? What is the common key between the customers and transactions? Customer ID, right? Customer ID is the common key. Please pay attention here to create a relationship. Okay? How do we create a relationship? Customer ID, all of you just select customer ID in the customers table. Just click on customer ID in the customers table. Click, hold it, drag and drop onto customer ID like this. I'm showing it once again. Select customer ID, click, hold, drag and drop it onto the customer ID in the transactions table. The relationship should be created like this. Okay, if you want to see it once again, I'm showing this once again. Customer ID, click, drag and drop it onto customer ID here. Is that okay? Is it done? How many of you are able to create the relationship? Raise your hands. Excellent. So can you create a relationship between transactions and products also? Please do that. Please do. Transactions and products, there is a common key. Create a relationship. Either of the ways. You create, one to many or many to one. It is the same thing. If you are done, raise your hand. If you create the products and custom transactions, if you create a relationship, raise your hand. Excellent. Others, please complete that. Create a relationship between the transactions and products. Use the product ID as a common key like this. Do you see the model like this? Okay. Now you see the power of Excel Power Pivot. Though the data is located in 3 different tables, I can create an analysis that comes from 3 different table fields. Okay. Is it done? Yeah. Model is ready. Okay. Just all of you switch back to maybe just before going there, let's do one thing. Directly create a pivot table from Power Pivot itself. Okay. In the home tab itself, there is an option pivot table. After building the model only, you should go with the pivot table. There is a pivot table option. You see that? Yes. Take the pivot table. Then this is asking, where do you want to create this pivot table? In a new worksheet or existing one? Let's go with a new worksheet. Here we go. This is the Power Pivot table. You get a question like, how do I know that it's a Power Pivot table or not? Okay. There are so many ways you can find out. If it is a Power Pivot table, let me just bring up that field list. Okay, how many of you see this pivot table here? Raise your hands. Okay, excellent. Just do a right click on the pivot table. The last option is show field list. Do you see the field list here? Right. If you see multiple tables like this, in one pivot table field list, if you see multiple tables like this, you are working with a Power Pivot table. Is not the regular pivot table. If it is a regular pivot table, how it looks? It looks only, it shows only the fields, not the tables. Here you have different tables. It's like very easy now to design this power pivot table. How we want to do that? Let's say you want to go back to the power pivot model. Go to pivot, power pivot and manage. If you click on manage, it will again go back. So here, click on pivot table, say new worksheet. Create the pivot table on a new worksheet. Then click OK. Done. Now you tell me region is available in which table? Region is there in the customers table. Sales is available in which table? It's there in the transactions table, right? Now you see how I will create. I'll go to the transactions table sales. I'll drag it into the values. All of you please do this. Transactions table sales, drag that into the values. Yeah. And then go to the customers table, take the region and put that into the rows. Go to the customers table, region into the rows. Though the data is now located in different tables, you no need to worry about writing a VLOOKUP and bring the region and create a pivot. You no need to do that. Power Pivot can read the columns from other tables also. But how is it possible? There definitely be a question like a Power Pivot is capable of reading the data from multiple tables. How is it possible? Because we have created a relationship using those keys only, right? The common values, right? And if you want to create any Power Pivot table, it's like very easy, right? You just go back to the manage. You want to create a Power Pivot table. Okay, create a Power Pivot table. Is it like an existing sheet or a new sheet? Up to you. I want to create on the existing sheet. Okay, I can also move this. Okay, just cut that and I can move that here. This time I want to use the product category and the total sales. Category can come from products table, sales can come from transactions table. Right? This is all looking good, but the point is management may not be happy if you present your data in the form of a table. What is that we need to do? Correct. We need to create graphs. So it's very easy to create the graphs. Please pay attention. It's like very easy. Go to insert. All of you just go to insert. Right? I want to use a clustered column chart here. By the way, you created one more Power Pivot? No, sir. No? Okay. I'll show you once again how you can create this. All of you just keep the cursor on H3. All of you keep the cursor on H3. Yes. Go to Power Pivot. Go to Power Pivot. Okay. Go to Manage. Manage. Power Pivot, Manage. And what is it you want to do? You want to create one more pivot table, right? Go to the pivot table here in the Home tab, pivot table. Okay, Home tab, pivot table. This will ask where do you want to create this, because you are already on the H3, on the existing sheet H3. You want to create a pivot. All of you are done with this? Yes. Now products table, take the category, and transactions table, take the sales. Products table, take the category, transactions table, take the sales. Right? Okay, here we go. We want to create chart, the first chart. Is it ready, everyone? First table. Okay, how to do that? Very simple. Keep the cursor on the first pivot table. Go to insert. Keep the cursor on the first pivot table. Go to insert. Take the very first chart, a 2D clustered column chart. Okay, and go to the second pivot table. Here also you take a 2D clustered column chart. Two 2D clustered column charts are there. Is it okay? How many of you were able to create both the charts? Raise your hands. Anyone is still finding any challenge? The second pivot table. Okay, I'm repeating the steps for the second pivot table. I'm repeating the steps for the second pivot table. Keep the cursor on H3. Go to Power Pivot. Manage. Insert a new pivot table. Where on the existing sheet, what all you want to show? Product category in the rows, sales in the values. Is it done? And then insert a 2D column chart. Are the two charts ready? Okay, here we go. I would like to use a slicer now. Slicer is a filter. It helps us to filter the data. Okay, to insert a slicer, this is what you can do. Go to insert. All of you just keep the cursor on the first pivot table. Keep the cursor on the first pivot table. Select a slicer. Slicer is here in the insert tab only. Select a slicer. I'm repeating this point again. Keep the cursor on the first pivot table. Go to insert and select the slicer. And let's say customer segment is a slicer I want to create. Customer segment slicer. And click OK. I want to create customer segment slicer. Click OK. That's it. Okay. Now you see consumer. You see the first pivot table. Is it changing? Yes. Yeah. First pivot table, is it changing? But I get a question, why the second pivot table is not changing? Okay, but the product category, as you know, is also bought by the customer segment only, right? Different customers can buy the different product categories, right? This is the reason why the second pivot table is not responding. Do I right click on the slicer? Do I right click on the slicer? Go to report connections, see how many pivot tables are connected to that slicer. Only one. Connect the second slicer pivot table also. Now you click on this as both the pivot charts are now changing. Now I can easily answer a few of the questions of the business. How are the customer segment corporate sales? When I click on that, you see this corporate sales are this much and the charge is this much. You see that? Okay, how many of you were able to connect this slicer with both the pivot tables? Raise your hands. I'm showing the slicer once again. Okay, do you all have two pivot tables and two charts? Yes. Okay, one is by the region and one is by the category. Now we want to create a slicer. Select the first pivot table. Go to insert. Okay. Take a slicer. Which slicer? The customer segment slicer. Select the first pivot table. Go to slicer. Select the segment slicer. Click OK. Do you have the segment slicer? How many pivot tables are responding? Only one. But do you know how to connect the other pivot table also? Right click, report connections, select the next pivot table also, click OK. You click these things, both the charts are responding, right? We create the dashboards this way only. We create multiple slicers and multiple charts and we put all of them together in one place to create one dashboard. But concept remains same. We create the power pivots, we create the slicers, and then we create the charts. If a slicer needs to control all the pivot tables, right click, report connection, select all of them. Now I'm looking at a few of the faces. I'll definitely ask questions. Anyways, last 10 minutes dance session, right? Then I'll be relaxed.
Can you show again how to connect Excelytics for sheet?
What's it?
Excelytics segment for sheet. How to connect?
Slicer you want to connect? If you want to connect the slicer with multiple pivot tables, right click, report connections and choose them. Choose all the pivot tables that are there. I think only one pivot is connected. Yes.
Like without using power pivot. Last time we told about re-implementing. So if I want to do it, we can generally do by re-implement. But it's a little time taking process.
Correct. You know, it's a good one. It's a good one. Huh? I'll ask this as a question.
And it's like that development happened by that slicing.
Even when I was not aware of power pivot, I used to do the same. Do the lookup because we put all the columns into the main data. Okay. So finally, we get into the last round of knowledge check. No problem. Let them continue. I'll pick up. Uh, one, two, three, four, five, six. Okay, good. I'm just looking at how many people will be qualified for the group dance at this moment. Because the question I'm going to ask, very much sure, unless unless you focus on the subject, you can't answer this. Unfortunately. Macros, Mac OS. I'll tell you the challenge here. Power Pivot, Power Query, all of them are developed only for Windows operating system. They're not there in Mac. You will now have a Windows as secondary operating system in Mac. Okay, one last check. All of you understood what we did so far? Okay, one thing, let me ask you this. Formulas. Earlier, I don't know how you practice those formulas and all, but when you open the formula, now you know what is mandatory, what is optional, what we can load, what can be skipped, what is an array, what is k, what is x. At least that idea is there. See, I understand, in one day, if I come up with so many topics, it's like a bouncer for you also. I understand, yeah. Unless you are into real time and working on a project requirement, you don't really, understand this. That I totally agree. But a few of the topics, are we good with them? Like in the morning, we spoke about tables. Now it helps you to identify the tables here. Yes. Data types. Data types, they help you to write how to write them in the formulas. If anything is asking for a text, you loaded a text. Anything asks for a date, you loaded a date there. Yes, network days, work days, right? working with the sort, filter formulas and all? Yes? Okay. See, there are so many things in Power Query, Power Pivot, dashboarding. You give me one full month time. I don't think I can cover all these subjects. Even if you give me one full month, those many things are okay. I was able to cover only a few things today, but that would have given you some idea about what is Power Query, how to clean up the data, or how to transform the data using Power Query without any programming. We saw that. Power Pivot without bringing in so many lookup formulas and all, we were able to write create a Power Pivot with the help of relationships. I was able to create these things. I think a few of you were able to do that using those advanced formulas like unique, sort, filter, these kind of things also we tried. Yes. Tables we understood, data types we understood. How many data types we work with? Text, number, date time, logical, formula error. You take anything, you take any kind of Excel report, only those things you see, right? I got one question here. We created a Power Pivot here with the help of relationships. We were able to get the data from different tables into one place. Can't we do the same thing with the help of a normal pivot and lookup formulas? Can I do that or not? Lookup formulas, how do they help? They can fetch the data from other tables, like, right? Let's say if I want to get the region into the transactions table, can I get it?
Yes.
Product category into the transactions table, can I get it? Because there are product IDs and customer IDs, they are the common values using which I can do the lookups, and I can still go with the normal pivot. Normal pivot also I can do the same thing. But why I went ahead with the Power Pivot here? I wanted to avoid writing the lookup formulas. The more lookup formulas you write, the performance of the report will be hampered. That with the small data set, you can't see that effect. But in a real time, if you are working with 5 lakh rows with so many lookup formulas, every 2-3 minutes, Excel gets into not responding mode, because it needs to do a lot of calculations in the back end to fetch the data from the other sheets using the lookup. It is recommended to avoid the lookup formulas on such a huge data. But then how to get the connections between these tables? Use the Power Pivot. You know how to build the model, right? How do we do that? Simple. Get all the tables, find out the common keys, just simple drag and drop. That's it. It will create a relationship. Understood? Yes? Any questions on this? I can create so many other charts and I can put together like a dashboard also, but I just showed you how you can come up with something like this. You just arrange all these tables in a little organized way. It looks like a dashboard. You keep all those slicers and charts in one place and click them. It is like a dashboard for you, right? Currently I'm showing only 2 pivots and 2 charts, but you can create multiple pivots and multiple charts, right? Can you all do that? Power Query, why do we use it? Create relations between Power Query. One of those examples that we worked is split columns. It's not only to split the columns. If you get a question about Power Query is about the data transformation and data cleansing, right? Data cleansing and data transformations can be done using Power Query. You were able to remove that additional space right before each and every city. How did we do that? We trimmed it. Not only trimming, there are so many other options available in Power Query. So Power Query is all about data transformation and data cleansing. Is that okay? What is a Power Pivot? It can read the data from multiple tables. But to read the data from multiple tables, what is needed? Relationships are needed. To create the relationships, what do we find? The common keys we need to find and drag and drop and to create the relationships. Can we redo all these things when you have some free time? Yes? Okay. Any questions if you have, please ask. Okay, so I would like to show you a couple of things, and then with that we'll be done. Okay. See, I understand right from the morning, same subject, maybe boring also, and no one gave me an opportunity to make you dance actually. I thought of asking you tricky questions, but most of you are sing and dance. They want to sing. Okay. A couple of things. And I was talking about this certification program. I'll just quickly cover it in 2 minutes. Okay. See, Excel has got two levels of certifications: MO 200 and MO 201. Okay. MO 201 is an Excel expert certification. MO 200 is a core, nothing but the specialist certification. Okay. So I was actually talking to your faculty also that you all can go for this MO 201 examination. Okay, this is an online examination and we'll conduct that examination here only. And once you complete this certification, MO 201, you will get a badge like this. Okay, that is from Microsoft, you know, official, what is that? Microsoft is the official provider for this badge. And you will also get the certification like this. Okay, MO201 I said. Okay, remember that number. And this certification is an online examination. Duration is 50 minutes, 50. Okay, total score is 1000. Cutoff is very reasonable, 70%. 700 is what you need to get to crack this certification. Okay, 1000. And everything is everything is a project based question, no MCQs, no ABCD selections. Okay, they ask you to write a VLOOKUP formula. The question will ask you to create a pivot table or create a chart and all, right? Most of you may have now so many questions or doubts like, can I clear, this certification? I can tell you with 100% confidence that the kind of material that we created, you all can easily crack this. No surprise if you get 1000 out of 1000 also. Forget about 700, 900 plus should be your target. Actually, 1000 should be your target, right? But for that, we have designed a 16 hours training program, okay, that we are thinking of running, which is spread across a couple of weeks, okay, so that you no need to sit for the whole day. We'll do it like 3-4 hours a daily session, and then I'm very much sure you all can easily clear this. The advantage of getting certification is as you get that Microsoft official badge, you can keep it on your resume, and you can also publish it onto the LinkedIn, and so many things are there so that your profile will get so much visibility, right? And if you look at my profile also, this is how it looks. Okay, these are my certification badges, and you need to write so many exams for all those things, right? I'm PL 300 Power BI certified. This is the certification badge you will get. This is Excel expert badge. Okay. For that, as I said, the material will be shared, sessions will be conducted here at your college. Okay, offline sessions only, not online. And we'll have, I think, 16 hours is a good amount of time to learn all these different concepts of the advanced features of Excel. But today is more like I see mix of people. Few of you know some good stuff, and few of you are very beginners. I was actually trying to balance. If everyone is at the same level, maybe I would have been, able to cover a few more advanced features. But if I directly go there, I don't think someone who is very new to Excel everything is like a bouncer for you, right? That's the reason I was trying to balance and checking with you all. But yeah, so this is a certification, program we are actually proposing for all of you. I think you will soon get a communication from your coordinators also. They will take care of the process. Whoever is interested, you can register for this course. Okay. And yeah, before we wrap up the session, any questions, any doubts, anything you have? No? Sure? Real? I can't trust this. You don't get questions in only two situations, huh? One thing you understood everything or understood nothing. Power pivot, power query, and all. We'll cover that in the certification program also. A couple of examples. Okay. But now you know at least how the model can be created and how the data can be cleaned up. Right? Fine then. One last thing. Okay. Whatever it is, it was like, I think I was trying to explain so many number of features and so tricky also. Okay, so just go ahead and submit your review, all of you. I'll go through that because I may not be able to interact with each one of you to get that input. So please make a, whatever it is you felt about this particular section, feel free to write that. Leave the appropriate rating there. If it is one, I really want to hear it from you why it is one. If it is five, also I want to hear it from you why it is five. Okay, please scan and complete your review, please. Yeah, this is for all of you, requesting you to do it, please, now itself. So that while going back home, I'll go through all your reviews.
Thank you, Mr. Kumar, for this lovely session. Right, can I have you start the class again, please?
Thank you, and maybe I'll get a chance to see you all dancing in our session. Actually, we couldn't get participation here. So. Okay. So all of you done with the review? Perfect. So thanks for your active participation, and I'll see you all in our next sessions. Thanks, everyone. Thank you.
Head down for snacks.
Have snacks also.
Yeah, yeah. Tea, coffee, and then you need a drop off at high tech, right?
Yes, yes. I think he's aware of that. Thank you.
So you just go down and call him, call the driver, and
We're trying to get the information. Once you look up value, customer. You need to select the same book. Okay, customer. You are selecting the header actually. Comma. And then table array is all the customers. We need to select this. Customer region is there in seventh column, eighth column. Take a choice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And exact match.